All right, let's get into the weekly live. Just jump right into the goals, your health, wealth, and learning. Knock out your wins and challenges. I've been on the road today, 7 hours, man. Just checked in. So we'll try to keep it brief. But health, I think I hit day number 7 or 8 now on, I don't like to call it keto, but definitely high protein, low carb, no sugars in there. So I was in business meetings all week, and that's a challenge when you're out with clients. I ended up having wine last night since I wasn't presenting today. Um, and I don't think that any alcohol is particularly good, but if you're trying to stay in keto or low carb, uh, the wine makes it a lot easier than chugging beers. So health feels good. The belt line is slimming up. Uh, I'll hop on the scale once in a while, but I like to watch the pant sizes. When you get to my age, you just understand kind of how the pants are supposed to fit. The belt notches, what are working there. Wealth. So I took on the CEO and CFO asked me to grab some PM roles on two new project initiatives for this global company. So it's interesting. It's my first PE portfolio company that is a wealth play when you get in as a minor investor in these PE companies. It's something to do there, but I still look at content creation as the long term wealth play. So I've been digesting Gary Vee's latest book. Um, he calls it Day Trading Attention. Damn good. It's on Spotify. I'll have a link to that picture on my personal account, Chad Tabbery. It's outstanding. And I've noticed this. I've been doing paid ads. I started with YouTube ads long, long time ago, man. I was a teenager, so that was probably over 20 years ago. I got really good at Facebook ads, and then now most of what I'm running is on Instagram, but it's the same meta platform. Anyway, I started noticing as I was putting more ads out that the algorithm is getting very sophisticated in identifying your target cohorts, your demographics. So when if you grew up on the OGs like Dan Kennedy or Perry Marshall on the digital marketing side, we always had this idea that we were smarter than the computer. And I think for a long time that was true. You knew, like, picking a real narrow target audience was great. You could monitor your click through rate and the cost per cost per activity, whatever it is, cost per link click or cost per engagement. And I could get them down real low and then tweak the media and go back and forth on that. That's a lot of fun. But now, recently, especially on the 4x4 recall page, I've noticed if I just let the algorithm, if I go broad and let the algorithm identify for me, it finds the people who are most likely to engage with it. And then funny things happen because it identifies cohorts for you that you didn't expect. So, for example, there's a lot of women that tune into 4x4 Recall, which when I originally set out to create this content, I knew I'd be talking to men. And still, my message, I am talking directly to men. But more women act on it, more women resonate with it, and more women reach out to me and ask me questions. So, very fascinating revelation there on my side. I don't think that I'll shift my focus to serving women, but it always helps to get multiple perspectives in it, and definitely helps bring my target demo in when they're around making comments. So health, wealth, and learning. Man, I hit day 80 now on daily content creation. Uh, I wouldn't say I'm saturated on the learning curve. I feel like I have got the YouTube nuances for my current niche. That, remember, this is relationship and men's dating. I've got that nailed. Like, there are things that I just can't say, and they seem innocuous. I can't use gender specific words in the title, or YouTube will tank it. And that I don't mean censoring by any means. It's just you got to play the game. You got to serve up what the system wants, and maybe that's just the general appetite of the culture around here. They don't want to see it. So if I were to say find your dream woman, that would tank. Whereas if I would to say find your soulmate, that would get the 400 to 5,000 views that I'm accustomed to. So, people can slice it any way you want. But my point is, I feel like I'm solely in the marathon in the middle where I know the game. I can go in. I can see the click through rates. I can redo thumbnails, titles, etc. All that's fascinating. Um, it's given me the bandwidth then to focus more on the content. Like I'd rather be talking to you guys. I'd rather be sharing the insights and talking about what's new. So there's that. Health, wealth, learning. This company I'm with now on the W2 side is a mid market company. I've been with them 6 months. This is dipping down for me, down from enterprise. There's been a tremendous, I don't want to call it a learning curve, but it's almost like you have to scale back your enthusiasm. And again, I don't want to call it ambition, but you have to really slow down in mid market and even taking on, I have stakeholders in Singapore, France, Spain, and then here the U.S. stakeholders that also cover worldwide. So it's a global company, does a ton of money, but there's a certain level of intensity that I had to come down from at the enterprise level, and then to settle into in this mid market level. And I feel like I'm learning how to relax into that leadership position. There was a high level leadership position at the first tech firm when I had the worldwide offices. That was a very high energy, wide, broad vision leadership position. This one's like, you have to be more relaxed with the teams that work for me, more relaxed with the teams that I'm going to be PMing for. There's not a breakneck pace that you find in some enterprise tech firms. So, wins. Again, hitting all the daily short form media. Really stoked that we're back on the long form full time. That next week's is already queued up. I'm loving the processes with the outsourced thumbnail crew. Been working with some copywriters to see if I could onboard some more team members. If you're ever interested, you think you have something to add to a brand, reach out to me. I'm constantly evaluating new contractors to onboard. The entrepreneurs group going fantastic. I love seeing them growing. One of the guys reached out to me, showed me the new camera he got. And again, back to Gary Vee's book, I think it's more critical than ever. His main point, if I distilled it down, was that the big media companies are still not respecting organic content on the social side. That is a budget arbitrage opportunity for you now as you build out your brands, because when they do jump into that game, probably in the next 5 years or so, when they take it more seriously, it'll be cost prohibitive, which is what we saw happen on Google, pay per click. It's what we saw happen on Facebook, Instagram. If you're super niche and catchy, I still think it's profitable. But if you're trying to do like traditional stuff, broad reach, it's overpriced. Anything local is still amazing. Um, so anyway, lost my train of thought on that. And then challenges. Uh, Probably energy, but then not even that's a challenge. I think dialing in on this diet. I feel, and look, I have my own criticisms of a low carb diet. I've been very successful on both a low carb diet and lots of walking, and very successful on both a counting calorie diet where I had tremendous output doing some quote unquote special forces training routines that I was practicing when I was deployed. Not that I was ever going to apply for special forces, just going through the training routines because they were interesting and challenging, but required me eating a lot more calories. I would count every day to make sure I had it, but also make sure I was still in deficit because I wanted to lose some body weight. So success on both. But what I found with the low carb is it really settles my appetite. So whatever, whether you talk crap about it or not, it's effective if you stick with it. My overall hygiene and health tends to do a lot better without the sugar in the diet, and then I just don't feel hungry. It's 7:30 p.m. over here now, and I was driving all day, barely ate. I've got like still have leftover eggs and sausage in a to-go container here. Uh, I think the final challenge, maybe it feels like the content's in a rut. I found a niche that works well, a process that works well, and I can get that from 400 to 2,000 views. So I'm not 100% ready to call that a block, or an actual challenge, I still think that that's about waiting that 3 to 4 months to let the algorithms pick you up. So if we get to 6 months and I'm still seeing this quote unquote plateau, then maybe we'll mix it up. But otherwise, I'm really happy with the quality, and I'm trying to lean more into the lower quality here, which I think is another great way to create content, but also it's just another side of the brand itself, and then how you can tap into that as a 4x4 champion, as a 4x4 man, to consider your own health, wealth, and learning goals, wins, and challenges. So put something down in the comments if you want to talk about your own health, wealth, learning, and then any wins you've had and any challenges you're facing next week. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the next one.